On behalf of the Department of Psychology, I welcome today's resource person, Ms. Subrata. She is a counseling psychologist. I got many information about resource person today, and she is having a lot of experience in clinical setting. She is working under a few clinical institutions in Chennai, and a lot of feedbacks about her seeing positive outcomes. Thank you for that. Thank you for accepting our invitation. And Madam is going to present an important topic: mental health during crisis. It is need of the hour. I welcome you. Please take over the session and share your experience and knowledge.
Thank you. So hello everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. I think they are.
Okay. Yes. Okay. So I'm Shukrida, counseling psychologist based in Chennai. So I'm so glad to meet you all in today's session. I would like to thank Dr. Suresh and the American College for taking up this wonderful initiative. Thank you so much. So today I will be talking about mental health during crisis. I would like to share the screen.
Can you share on laptop?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So before we get into today's topic, I think it would be better if we start today's session with a pinch of gratitude. So I would request everybody to name something which made you smile today, and also what you expect out of today's session. Okay. Do start commenting in the chat box which is present nearby.
Ma'am, please, you can express your gratitude in chat box. Dear participant, you can express your gratitude.
Name something that made you smile today, and also what do you expect out of today's session?
Today is a smiling day, ma'am. Sir, today is a smiling day.
Yes, important day.
Yeah.
Okay, your kids, your family. So something that made me smile today is being a part of today's session is something which made me smile today, and I'm very much grateful for that. Okay, a call from a client giving a positive feedback. That's so amazing. Okay, yummy food. And what else? What else do you expect out of today's session? Do you have any expectations before you entered this session? Okay, mental peace. Appreciating a staff. Okay.
Hi, Suhrda, all the best.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, helping others, how to come out of the fear, okay? Any crisis handling, relaxation tips, okay? Laughter therapy, okay. Okay, so I would be covering up most of what you have requested now. I'll tell you what I'll be covering up for today. So these are the topics which I'll be covering up today. Number one is dealing with feelings of anxiety, loneliness, and depression. And number two is secondhand stress. I will go in depth about the topic later. and then the therapeutic resources which we have to use to cope up with this difficult situation, and the effects of screen time and digital detox. And people, this is the most important topic, people with prevailing mental health issues such as OCD, anxiety, addiction, and then managing with feelings of guilt and unproductivity. And we'll finish it up with psychonutrition and post-COVID and resilience. Okay. So now we'll first be talking about dealing with feelings of anxiety, loneliness, and depression. So these feelings of anxiety, loneliness during the crisis is actually a reminder for you to focus on what is within your control. Feelings of worry and anxiety might be a reminder for you to turn off your screen, through which you constantly receive negative news and information, which the brain perceives it to be a negative emotional thing which disturbs the inner peace. So to deal with this, we need to engage ourselves in activities and exercises which provide space to express ourselves, because all these negative feelings are actually a result of accumulation of thoughts and emotions. So we need a safer space to express these feelings of anxiety and loneliness. So we all know what stress means, but today we'll be discussing more on what secondhand stress is. It is just something related to a secondhand smoke. We all know what a secondhand smoke is. It's also known as passive smoking. If we are nearby to a person who is smoking, we'll also get the effects of the smoke, even if we are not actively involved in smoking. So that is how exactly stress also works. So something like how a smile is contagious, a virus is contagious, emotions are also contagious. So we need to accept this fact first. So the science behind this is the role of mirror neurons. So mirror neurons are something which is present inside our brains, which is responsible for identifying our emotions of others and cause a mirroring reflex in the individual. So that is why we feel sad when we see someone crying. We feel happy when we see somebody who is also happy. We tend to mirror or reflect the other people's emotions. So currently we aren't directly related to being happy or sad, rather than we feel the emotions of the other person. So this is why when someone is feeling stressed, we feel the amount of stress in ourselves too. When somebody close to us is stressed, we feel that we are also going through the same situation. So actually, this secondhand stress need not be related only in interpersonal relationships or families. Secondhand stress is also caused due to social media, news, TV, and other entertainment networks too. So now currently we are all exposed to large amounts of information regarding this COVID crisis, virus, number of positive cases, and we are not directly related, or we are not inside the hospital. We are not related to anybody who is going through such a situation. But still, even by seeing the news, we tend to feel stressed out, and we fear if something might happen to us too. What do we do to come out of this? So these are all the natural thoughts which we get while being exposed to news. Now looking at this problem from an SFBT perspective, that is solution focused perspective, we need to balance reality and optimism equally. So this is my favorite word in SFBT, despite. Despite the current situation, what can I do to make myself feel better? So this is a question which we all need to ask ourselves. So despite here is actually a very strong word, which inculcates a strong sense of reality. So despite here means, okay, everything is like this. I'm accepting it. But apart from that, what can I do to make myself feel better today? Which is now combined with a sense of optimistic question. So answering to this, or even reflecting to this, will help us be productive, or be with a better sense of mental health during this current situation. So now I'll be listing out therapeutic resources, such as anything which will help us maintain a healthy state of mind during this current situation. These resources will be easily affordable, and you can practice them at the ease of your own home. You need not go out but being at your own home itself, you can start practicing these therapeutic resources, which we all have already done, but still it is mandatory to do it now to sustain our mental health balance. So the first one will be music and dance. So we all are aware of the therapeutic effects of both music and dance. We all know the healing nature of both music and dance. We all have studied and heard about it in all news and media. So there are two ways by which you can practice these therapeutic resources at your home. So there is one active form and the other is the passive form. So in active form, the person is directly involved in music. That is, you will be actively singing, or you'll be actively playing any other instrument that is ensures a direct involvement with the therapeutic resource. The passive form here helps us in listening to it. You're not involved directly, but still you're listening to music, and or else you're observing someone who is singing, which is also therapeutic in nature. Even if you say that I'm not a singer, I don't know how to sing, you can grab the therapeutic healing nature of music by either listening to it or by observing someone who is practicing it. So similarly goes for dance too. Not all people prefer to dance, but during this period, we need to have some movements in our body to break the sedentary lifestyle. After this lockdown period, we are all going through an extremely sedentary lifestyle, which is not good for both our physical and mental health. So even if you're not inclined to dancing, I would suggest you all to do some exercise or some bodily movements which will reduce the levels of cortisol. So cortisol is actually a hormone which increases the levels of stress. When you move your body and bring the sweat out, the levels of cortisol drastically reduces, and also the amount of endorphins increases, which causes a pleasant state of mind in you. So even if you don't want to dance, but either do some exercise or some bodily movements now and then on a regular basis. So this is all about music and dance. Next is mindfulness. So being mindful in our daily life or daily chores which we do at home, it might be sweeping, cleaning, or eating. It is itself a therapeutic exercise. You need not sit down and like how it is shown in media, we need not sit and color out something, do some painting to be mindful. We can actually practice it in our daily routine itself, which is very much easier for us, which makes our thoughts make us feel free worry from our past or future, because most of the time we are either preoccupied with the past or the future. Either we think about the loss which we have endured due to this crisis, or how will the future be? Will I be able to make it out? So these are the two thoughts which are preoccupied in everybody's mind. So to get out of this, we need to practice mindfulness to be in the present moment and be in the here and now situation. So being mindful helps you to stay in the present moment, and it helps in reducing the anxiety levels too. So the next is making art. This is my favorite one. So involving ourselves in any kind of art, literally any kind of art. It might be making craft, sketching, coloring. So it need not be artistic in nature, but it should be something which involves your own individuality and spontaneity. So my favorite practical example which I would give is cooking and baking. So it is very artistic in nature because it involves spontaneity, creativity, and innovation. So doing such activities on a regular basis drastically increases our levels of well-being. And another therapeutic resource is dishwashing. So now during this lockdown period, we have all stopped our servants, maids, and we have to do everything. But are we doing it with full mindfulness or with full enjoyment? No, because we don't know, we don't want to do it with pleasure. It is a headache for us to dishwash or clean our bedrooms, clean our bathrooms. These are all a very headache kind of thing. Not everybody enjoys doing it, but specifically dishwashing has been proved to be cathartic in nature. So it helps you vent out emotions which are being suppressed in you. So the process of dishwashing as a whole is a cathartic exercise when you do it only mindfully. So there are many research studies which have proved that dishwashing reduces the levels of nervousness and anxiety. So I think you can start practicing it mindfully at least 10 minutes a day or 2. And the last therapeutic resource which I would say is gratitude journaling. So either at the beginning of the day or at the end of the day, we all can start journaling out our thoughts and to something what we are grateful for. When we are going through a very much difficult situation, we find it very hard to look into what is going right or good. We always want to focus on the difficult things and what has gone wrong during this time. But it is very much essential to be grateful and practice gratitude during this crisis. There are scientific evidences that say that grateful people are more resilient in nature and have higher levels of well-being. So I would like to list out a few gratitude prompts which would help. Okay. So these are a few gratitude prompts which would be very helpful. Either you can reflect on this in the morning or in the night before you go to bed. So you can ask yourself, what are you grateful for today? What expectations of normal am I letting go of? What is the small blessing in this horrible situation? What item did you find on the grocery store shelf that made you smile? What is the one thing that you are secretly pleased that you don't have to do because of social distancing? What beauty am I cultivating or inviting in? And what is the most humorous COVID meme you saw in the last 1 week that made you laugh? So this last question is particularly combined with an REBT approach. So in rational emotive behavior therapy, one of the most used techniques is the humor approach, where they say that we should make fun or we should make a laughter out of which makes us cry. So these memes, when you see, though it is something we laugh at something which is difficult, it still helps us to cope with this situation. So you could try that too. And if you come across such meme, do share with others, because all are very busy in sharing the negative aspects of this COVID and how much we are getting disturbed because of this. But once you share humor and something which is positive in nature, people around you to be helpful in coping up with this crisis situation. So the next thing is effects of screen time. So this during this lockdown, we are all more engaged only with the screen, mobiles, Amazon Prime, or TV, which broadcasts only news related to COVID. So what does this screen time do to us? The first thing is our sleep cycle gets disturbed. The sleep patterns and the regularity of sleep will be disturbed. And then blue rays and melatonin reduction. So there are some rays and light called the blue rays, which most of us aren't aware of, which is emitted from the screens, not only in mobiles, but also in the TVs and the screens which we are exposed to. So these rays reduce the amount of melatonin in us, which is responsible for regulating our sleep cycle. And the third one is internal stress. So there are certain studies which suggest that the notification sound we get, right? While listening to a notification sound, there is a pump of adrenaline rush, which is equal to the rush when we encounter with a very wild animal. For example, if we suddenly get into a sight of a lion in front of us, the same amount of stress is felt when we are listening to a notification sound. So imagine the amount of stress we are all going through. And the fourth one is premature aging. There are studies which prove that more amount of time in screen causes skin to age prematurely ahead. So this is also something worse which we need to be aware of. And number 5 is the physical changes in the brain. There are physical changes in the brain which reduces the productivity levels. So why we are all addicted to phones is the release of dopamine, So the reward center is getting activated every now and then we use phones. So this reduces the productivity levels of all human beings. And how do we do to reduce these effects of screen time is to have a digital detox every day. So we need to stop using our mobile phones 1 hour prior to the sleep time, or at least now and then we need to keep a check on how we are using mobile phones and track our usage, how much time we are using it. So if you are an Instagram user, Instagram has thing in the activity log. It mentions how much time you're using per day. When you go and see, you will be shocked at how much time you're using it. It will be 3 or 4 hours for an average user for who is using Instagram. So apart from Instagram, we have Facebook, we have WhatsApp. So if we combine everything together, almost 7 to 8 hours we are on mobile phones. So imagine the amount of stress which we invite. So people with prevailing mental health issues. So OCD and anxiety. I would like to mention these two because these are the two mental health disorders which is most inclined to contamination and germs. So that is what we are all going through now. So the amount of anxiety which these people have is double the times of what we have, because they already have such issues even when the virus was not there. So they'll be afraid of whether they will come into contact with any germs or something bad worse might happen. So all these thoughts are unrealistic in nature. So what we can do is the caregivers and the counselors or the psychiatrists who are in touch with them must give them reassurance and be supportive of them, which will only help them now. And it is also difficult for the caregivers and counselors and other healthcare professionals too, because they need to play a dual role. Managing with feelings of guilt and unproductivity. So it is really important for every one of us to know that surviving this pandemic itself is an achievement. Don't be harder on yourself and push yourself too much to be productive. If you had a bath today, that itself is productive in nature during this time. So you need to be aware of that. And at the end of the day, we need to take a moment and acknowledge how far we have come. So this helps in reducing the levels of anxiety. Psychonutrition. So this is an emerging field in psychology. So the aim of this nutritional psychology is that to examine the effects of health issues and obesity on mental health. We need to make conscious choices of what we are taking into our body. For example, I'm finding most of the people, including my family members, consuming large amounts of coffee frequently in this lockdown period. This usually doesn't happen in the normal days. This caffeine at one point becomes unhealthy and disturbs one's sleep patterns, and sometimes it also interferes with our digestion. Also, I would want to talk about the gut-brain axis. So the gut-brain axis explains that if there are any disturbances in your stomach, in your metabolism, or if you have some acidity issues, etc., it causes stress and anxiety because the gut and the brain are directly related. And also vice versa. If you have anxiety issues, your gut will be disturbed. If your gut is disturbed, your brain gets disturbed. So it's vice versa. So it's really important to take care of our health, consume foods that are healthy enough to our mental health too. Also, there are certain foods that boost mental health, such as walnuts, turmeric, avocados, the berries, because these are all rich in antioxidants that promote mental health. Post-COVID and resilience. So after this COVID too, we do expect some amount of external stress popping up after this COVID is over. So we need to have a higher amount of resilience in ourselves. We need to build resilience to cope with a post-COVID loop. Okay. So I'll be giving you 5 points on how you can build up your resilience levels. The first one is accepting the current situation. accepting the reality. So being in a state of denial actually reduces the levels of resilience. Number two is looking back at how you managed with previous distress events. Make a list of resources you had used to cope. Knowing your own strength drastically increases the levels of resilience. And number three is when something bad happens, we keep replaying the scenarios over and over again, which is called rumination. Now you have to replace this rumination with reflection. So reflection here focuses on the positive benefits of this crisis. It might be building your bond with your family, friends, or learning a new skill, or realizing the importance of how we had access to our daily routine and how we took it for granted. Even realizing a small thing is also reflection. And most importantly, we need to remember that we are not alone. So that is the most important thing I would like to mention. And if you have any questions, you can ask me.
I think it is an amazing presentation, ma'am. I think we started from the different techniques, and I never thought that taking care of home day-to-day activities was one of the strategies. So thank you for that. And one of the important questions we received from many of the participants was internet addiction. Gadgets addiction.
Sorry?
Internet addiction.
Internet addiction. Okay.
And then the excess use of mobile phones and other gadgets. I think we have rightly pointed out that what are the impact of those things are so useful for me as well as the participant over here. Dr. Veena, you can take your question and answers. Dr. Veena, are you there?
Yeah. Yes, sir. We have, that was excellent presentation, Shubhrata. Thank you so much for enlightening us. We have Mr. Ravi who wants to ask you a question.
Yes.
Mr. Ravi, can you please go ahead with your question? Mr. Ravi?
Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
We can
Yeah, you are audible.
Audible, ma'am? Okay.
Yeah.
Ma'am, very good presentation. I want one question, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, your anxiety reduce, you are giving two ways, active voice and active and passive. Without active, passive, we can not, I think, not reduce anxiety, ma'am. Without active, it's correct or not?
Have you ever tried?
Yes, ma'am. Yes. No, ma'am. No drive.
Okay. I want you to try the passive thing too, because there are scientific evidences which say that involving in passive therapeutic activities are providing a greater sense of mental health. So after you try, do let me know.
Oh. No. Sometimes I listening songs, ma'am. Sometimes we are getting some anxiety or some depression. We are listening only songs means. Then most of time it is not released the depression or anxiety, ma'am.
Even if it is not released, you are able to see that you are able to manage with the stressful situation by listening to it. Even if there is no improvement, there is no decrement in your levels of well-being. So that is the therapeutic effect here.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
We have a question from Dr. Chandra. In a family, it's in the chat. I'll read it. In a family of 4 in an apartment, life with a limited play area, both parents are working from home. They are in IT company and they have a 7-year-old boy who is feeling frustrated inside the house. Can you suggest ideas to help the family in such situation?
The 7-year-old.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm just reading it out.
Yes.
The 7-year-old boy. Okay. I think parents need to spend more amount of quality time with the boy. It is not quality time here. I do not mean watching a movie together, but doing a shared activity. Might be playing together, or it might be exercising together, or maybe engaging the boy in some activity in the house, like helping his mother cook, or doing some shared activities with both of the parents. And also I would suggest one more activity which every family can use. This activity is called as a goodness chair activity, where a chair is placed in front of the either in the living area or in the bedroom, and each family member takes a turn to sit in the goodness chair, while the other family members start telling um, 3 or 5 positive things which they noticed in the past 1 week. So when they say a positive positive appreciation for the boy, it reinforces him to do more activities in the next week. So every week when this activity is repeated, the whole collective well-being will be increased.
Thank you. And any other questions from the participants, you can either ask now or you can mail us to like my webinarfeedback@gmail.com, and we would be really happy. The expertise would really feel happy to answer your queries. And Suresh sir, you want to talk about further sessions?
Yes. I think, ma'am, it is again, I would like to record my sincere gratitude to you for wonderful presentation on that mental health during this crisis. Made up the hour, and then you have and the points which are presented are amazing, and then it is useful for me also. And I hope most of over here they are practicing mental health also. They may agree with me. Thank you for your input and really fantastic presentation. Definitely, we'll have one more session with you in future. Thank you for accepting.
Thank you so much for inviting and doing this wonderful initiative. So it is very much helpful for everybody involved in mental health.
Good show, Suhurda and Suresh.
Ma'am, unmute your mic and then you can express your gratitude to the resource person right here. Please, one by one.
Thank you, ma'am.
Suhurda, it was wonderful brief session, and I could see a lot of SFBT into that. I'm happy that you are doing a wonderful presentation. Thank you, dear.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for this opportunity.
Yes. See, you can unmute and then you can come forward and then express your feedback to the session.
I think we just started little late, but still, people have joined. They were waiting. They were. My WhatsApp is flooded with inquiry whether it is delayed or there or not. The moment I said it is there, people have gone into it, and we reached 100 people. Now it is 95. But throughout the session, 100 people were there. So that means the people are very keen and for our webinars. And today's session of Sushruta also, it's very nice. And so, they were attentive and they were, and there is the regulations that we have been saying that, please keep your mic muted so that people can listen. So everybody was following it. It's a fantastic thing which is happening. And thank you so very much, Sushruta, for your wonderful presentation. And
thank you so much. Thank you so much for your feedback.
Suhruta, very nice presentation. I think someone asked 5 resilient points again. If you could repeat, it could be nice.
Yeah, sure. I'll do that.
Thank you very much for the presentation.
Thank you.
Excuse me, I'm having one question.
Yes.
Yeah, can you help me to tell how old people can cope in this situation? Because they are not able to go for walk, they are not having any social circle, and sometimes they feel alone in the nuclear family. So can you tell me how they can cope in this situation?
Okay. So for old people, it's really difficult because even the news says that old people are more prone to this virus. But still, I think it would be better if the other inmates in the house, like if they have a son or a brother or a sister, they should tell them the exact news, the accurate news which is happening, that not all old people are getting affected by this virus, and increase the levels of awareness in the old people. So that will help them to cope with this situation. And also, when you said that they're not able to go for a walk outside, I think it would be better if the inmates again tend to include them in their activities and have a shared activity together. So that will help them feeling involved in the family, and it also reduces the levels of being lonely.
Thank you.
Shukruta,
Thank you very much.
Can we have that resilience slide?
Yeah, can I add one point, Shuhata?
And we are running out of time.
Okay, only that they can include them in the indoor games like carom and other indoor games. Old people are more interested in it. Yes, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
And not only games but also in conversations, people love to be involved, because we are all just rejecting them when we are having a good conversation. They would feel better if they are also included in the conversation, and if